Every year, thousands of pupils write their grade 12 exams, whether government or independent examination board exams. For many of them, passing matric opens the door to a successful career, but for others, it can feel like they're stuck on the sidelines. Today, we explore the lives of 3 matric pupils whom we first met 5 years ago.
A Johannesburg pupil's fighting spirit has seen him beat the odds and achieve top marks in his matric finals. Antonio Aristides was diagnosed with stage 4 cancer early last year. He was told that he might not live long enough to finish his matric year, but the former Saheti pupil decided not to throw in the towel and gave his final year his best shot. Newzroom Africa's Malungelo Boy caught up with him.
Antonio Aristides and his friends are breathing a sigh of relief. They have all passed their independent examination board exams. Antonio Aristides is not just a top student. He is a beacon of resilience. In July 2019, on a chilly winter's day, Antonio was diagnosed with stage 4 cancer. And he was told he might not live long enough to even finish his matric.
In July, I was diagnosed with stage 4 Hodgkin's lymphoma. It's a cancer of the lymph nodes.
Despite this grim diagnosis, Antonio bravely chose to continue with his education.
I was diagnosed at the beginning of my prelim exams in July, and the doctor didn't know if I was going to be able to finish matric.
Support from his family, friends, and school motivated him. But it was his determination to overcome illness that truly fueled his journey.
I think I've got quite a stubborn personality in that sense. So when I said I'm going to do it, I really meant it. So, I mean, it was quite scary going through all these experiences and everything. But I mean, everyone goes through challenges in their lives and you've just got to get through with it. And you can't really let those block what you really want to do in life.
With 9 distinctions behind him, he set his sight on pursuing engineering.
Hi, I'm Antonio, and what keeps me going is the belief that God does have a bigger plan for me.
Now, 23, Antonio moved to England in August to continue his education. He is currently pursuing a master's degree in aerospace vehicle design.
I think at the time we spoke, I wasn't quite sure which engineering I would take up. I did end up taking aeronautical engineering at WITS. So I completed my Bachelor's of Science in Aeronautical Engineering with honors last year at WITS. But unfortunately, I haven't finished studying. I wouldn't say unfortunately, but I'm taking my master's in aerospace vehicle design currently at Cranfield University, which I just started now in October. So the studying hasn't stopped yet.
According to the Cancer Association of South Africa, over 100,000 people are diagnosed with cancer annually in the country. For Antonio, this diagnosis came with uncertainty.
When I received the news about my cancer diagnosis back in 2019, I wasn't quite sure what would happen each day, so I didn't think that far ahead. To be honest, it was more, okay, you've got to make it to tomorrow, and then the next day would come and you'd have to say, okay, tomorrow. It's just kind of living it day by day, and I feel like in our normal lives, even without any bad news or anything like that, we kind of have to think that way. You can't think too much into the future, into aspects which you can't control. So I believe living day by day is a better way of living, as you can only control what you're doing currently in the present. And I mean, to be honest with you, even before I decided to study my master's, I hadn't thought anything about masters, and that was probably even after I had completed my degree, I wasn't quite sure what I was going to be doing. And I just took it as it came, and now I am where I am, and I'm very grateful for where I am right now.
For Aristides, being diagnosed at 18 taught him a significant lesson about acceptance.
There are certain aspects of your life which you can't control, and you just have to accept that. There's nothing you can do about what's happened in the past, and you can't do anything about what's going to happen in the future. You just have to kind of take control of your moments right now and let your actions define what happens in that future from now. And I just think that you just have to accept sometimes that maybe God has a plan for you, and that there is some natural routes that your life will follow that does not involve any intervention from your side at all. So I believe that there are certain things which we can't control, and we just kind of have to ride that wave in those difficult paths.
While family and friends provided crucial support, self-motivation remained key.
What keeps me going is the belief that God does have a bigger plan for me, and even in difficult times we just need to keep pushing, because that too shall pass, and we just need to keep moving. We can't keep static. And obviously my family, my friends, my girlfriend, everyone around me is just a support system to keep me going. And yourself, you have to be your own biggest motivator too. I just want to be better than I was yesterday in every aspect I can be.
And it seems the support from family and friends, and also his determination not to give up, has continued to power him through as he is now in remission.
Thankfully, I'm in remission. I did have to do some radiation therapy, which happened in like June and July of 2020, but I am in remission now. A recent scan did confirm that, so yeah.
As we all know, he had his challenge with doing chemo.
Yeah.
It was a terrible time in our lives, but he just rose above it, put his head to where he's going. He targeted what he wanted. He worked hard and he got there. And that, although the marks didn't really matter as much, just to have him there at that time and for him to excel like he did was just the proudest moment in my life. So it was beautiful.
Are you still surprised with him and where he is right at the moment? Are you still do you still have a moment to kind of like, ish, my goodness, we're here?
Yeah, you know, he keeps blowing shooting the lights out, as we say, you know. He keeps excelling in everything he does. It's just like, he's an unbelievable superhuman, you know. But the biggest thing is the way the family is so united again. And we're grateful for everything we have. And I don't think anything will ever get us down again in our lives after being through that challenge. And as you know, Antonio's now in Europe, in England, doing aeronautical engineering, and he's excelling and he's loving life. And that's what it's about, just to look forward to everything you might not have had and just enjoy every moment going forward in your life.
What is it that you would say to possibly parents who've got children that have gone through what Antonio has gone through, and obviously the family also? What is it that you would say to other people who find themselves in the position that you as the family found yourself in?
I would say the first thing is to admit where you are. I was in denial for a long time. I couldn't believe something like that could come into my family. We've always been a healthy family. We haven't got a history of it. And the first thing is accepting what it is and saying, okay, what do we do to fight this now? And you go for it. You don't give up. You don't stop. You keep hitting it and keep going at it. And at the end of the day, it's going to be in God's hands. It can turn either way. And like you say, 100,000 people, it does turn the wrong way for a lot of people. But you don't give up. You never give up. You just push to the end. And in the end, God will make the decision for you which way it's going to turn. Just keep pushing. That's it. Do what you got to do. Go through the hurdles. Go through the chemo. Go through the nausea. Go through all those ugly things that come. Just push through.
and the 23-year-old continues to take each day as it comes.
I can't tell you where I'd like to be in 5 to 10 years. As I've mentioned, I'm not quite sure where I'll be tomorrow. So I can't give you an accurate prediction of where I'd like to be. I can tell you that I would like to be with the people that I love and the people that I want to surround myself with. And I just want to be able to provide a life for my family and my friends that they have provided for me. And I can't really tell you in 5 to 10 years, but I do want to return back to South Africa, and then I guess we'll just see where it goes from there.
It's January 2020 and Mpho Manele is overcome with emotion. At just 18 years old, this Northwest teenager has become part of a troubling statistic. According to the World Health Organization, 1 in 5 girls in South Africa becomes pregnant each year, contributing to the country's high rate of teenage pregnancy. Feeling ashamed, Mpho doesn't want others to make the same mistake she did.
I feel like I've disappointed my family a lot because they were expecting a lot from me. Never walk the path that I walked. Go for preventions. Don't be ignorant. Rather abstain. Yeah, that's what I would say to them, because education is the most powerful thing that you can use to change this world. Without matric certificate, you are nothing.
Despite her circumstances, Mpho was determined to pass grade 12. And she did. Now, 5 years later, at 24, Mpho lives in Madimogo village, one of the poorest areas in the Northwest. Like many young South Africans, she has had to leave her 4-year-old son, Thando Lwethu, with her parents in Mahikeng in order to seek work. Each day, Mpho walks for about 10 minutes to her workplace. With just her grade 12 certificate and the drive to succeed, Manele landed a job at Raklo FM, a community radio station.
It's 14 minutes after the hour and 9 o'clock. My station in Sabato station is Ratlu FM 100.4 MHz. Ke mo go re tsetlagile teng o wena tsala ya me go gae lentswe ke la morodi ya Manele ka kwano mo station in Ratlu FM 100.4 MHz le naneo ke sempete bona ke a go amogela.
She feels comfortable and at ease.
You're making my work easy. Life has been, what can I say? I found myself. Yes, I found myself through church. A church built me up, gave me that spirit of not giving up on yourself, no matter how hard it is. At least kneel down and lean on God. And at the end of the tunnel, you will see light, definitely.
Although many individuals who complete grade 12 typically continue to pursue higher education, Manele has been among the many who are unable to do so.
I want us to talk then about you after 2020, right? You get your matric results. Obviously, things go up,
According to plan.
According to plan. But you don't go to university.
Yes.
What happened after you passed your matric?
What happened after I passed my matric, I had to sit down and then I had to raise my son. I decided to raise my son and channel every channel of motherhood so that I would learn, because I felt like if I leave my child with my mom, I would never learn. So I wanted to learn the process of being a mother, grow him, and then after I would see what life holds for me. But the great thing is that while I was still in the process of growing him, I got opportunities such as Louis Furniture Stores. I worked there and when I got this opportunity, I grabbed it with 2 hands.
For Manele, becoming a teenage mother taught her many life lessons. And one of the biggest was learning how to forgive.
I still remember I was not in the right space by then. Pregnancy and everything that was happening, I felt like I failed myself. But when time went by, I learned to forgive myself and love myself again, hold my head high, and then challenge this life and give it best shots that I have.
Why did you feel like you'd failed yourself?
Like before going to matric, I wanted to be a lawyer. So when I was in matric and then I got pregnant, I felt like the walls of my world was crumbling down on me. But I never say my son was a mistake, because he's a blessing in my life. He taught me so much. He brought this new version out of me, which I never knew that I had. He could, I don't know, I cannot say. There are no words enough to explain my son in my life. He's something massive, something God sent. He's the one who is pushing me every day to unleash my best. And everything I do it for him.
Tell me about your son.
Okay, my son's name is Thandolwetu. That's his name. He's 4 years. He's 4 years, naughty, energetic, and fun to be around, but very brilliant. Yes, that's what I've seen about him.
Manele speaks passionately about her role at Raklo FM, where she hosts the popular mid-morning show called Sampedi.
9 to 12 ke yone le gore tla berna le wena ka kwano meka ura ele ya sethoboloko nna le wena tsala re tla be re kgaogana ka maswabi. Friday, take a break, sip on something, listen to your favorite song. Today is your day.
When I came here, I said to my station manager, he was like, okay, why do you want to be here? That was the first question he asked me. Then I told him that I want to be the voice of the voiceless. And then when the shows came up, show lineup, he gave me Simpedi. Simpedi deals with people. It deals with men, it deals with old-aged people, it deals with kids, it deals with women issues, it deals with the Lord. It touches social issues. It breaks down issues that are rare to be talked about. It touches your heart in a way that you would also, as a listener, be eager to engage, because some of them, they do come to the station and ask to be interviewed in Simpedi because of what Simpedi is doing.
Why do you care so much about these issues?
I care so much about them because I believe that rather they should be spoken about than be left alone to go and destroy the community and the world at whole.
And those who work with her cite her willingness to learn and tenacity as some of her qualities that have drawn them to her.
Radio is about personality. So you have to know when you decide your target, who you should place to talk to that particular target. Yeah, the kind of person, the personality you need. So the reason why I'm saying is, firstly, before we decided to put her on a show, which is Simpedi, we've considered those factors to say, actually, which personalities do we need, in fact, to present that particular show? But comparing the two, we saw it very important to say, no, that's the kind of person we need because of the kind of person. She's fast, and the personality, if you look to her, she looks like someone who got a lot of responsibility. Yeah, she's like an adult in terms of speaking, in terms of information delivery. You might assume it's someone maybe just a person. If you check to years, you might say she's 40 years old. Yeah, the responsibilities and the self-esteem she has
While the 24-year-old hopes to work for one of the country's top radio stations in the future, she's also not giving up hope on furthering her education.
Where do you see yourself? I mean, tell me about your dreams now. You get up in the morning, but you've got to, I want to hear again your dreams. What is it that you, tell me about your dreams now. What is it that you striving towards? I mean, yeah.
Okay, right now I've applied with UNISA. I'm undertaking a distance learning course while I'm still here, and I just want to be a social worker one day. That's the goal I'm striving towards. That's the main reason why I applied with UNISA, and I think it's going to be good because I have a lot of support structure from these offices. Yes.
And now the awards are over, real life awaits each one of them along with thousands of their fellow matriculants.
On stage sit the nation's top achievers from the National Senior Certificate class of 2019. They represent the cream of the crop among over 700,000 pupils who took the government-administered examinations that year. Among them is Fortune Khoza from Bushbuckridge, Mpumalanga, who earned significant strides.
Well, I think they need to manage their time well and commit themselves to their studies. That's the only advice I can give to them.
Fast forward 5 years later, and Khoza is in the Western Cape. After passing matric, he moved to Cape Town, where at just 22 years old, he is completing his master's degree at the University of Cape Town, one of the leading universities on the continent and globally.
So after I passed, I came here to UCT to study actuarial science, and then I finished that last year, and then I graduated this year in March. And then after finishing my degree, I was like, I don't really want to continue with this. I want to go into investment banking. So I decided to stay behind for a master's in financial engineering here at UCT, so I'm studying through AFM. And yeah, so that's what I did after, grade 12.
In South Africa, there's over 1,700 qualified actuaries. 21% are colored. 9.2% are black, 14% are Indian, 74.3% are white.
So I was lucky enough to receive a bursary from Vodacom for my undergrad studies, and then for my master's, it's funded by a consulting company called True North Partners, and then also Dell Young Leaders as well. Look at you.
Being one of the nation's top matric pupils and securing admission to a prestigious university like UCT doesn't come easy. From a young age, Khoza understood the importance of hard work.
I grew up with my mom and dad for the first few years of my life. For the first about 6-8 years of my life, I grew up with both my parents, and then unfortunately they separated, and then I then stayed with my grandmother and mom. And then I've been staying with them for the past few years of my life. Yes. And then but I also have a good relationship with my dad as well. I usually talk to him whenever I seek advice. He's the first person I call. I did my primary schooling back home in Bushbuckridge. The name of the school is called Jongilanga. And then I went to high school there as well. So the first high school that I attended, I was Mpho Manele, and then after that I decided to switch schools and then go to Econ, to Ox. All those schools are in Bushbuckridge. So in primary school, I used to have one of my math teachers. Her name is Miss Mashele. Unfortunately, she's no more, so may her soul rest in peace. She actually, I think this is one of the few people that played a key role in me discovering my love for math. So when I was in grade 6, actually it was grade 5, she took me to one of the math competitions that were held back home in Bushbuckridge. So it was at the second level, I came in first, and then we went to the district level, I came in first, and then we went to the provincial, I came in third. And that's when I realized, okay, I'm actually good at math. And then from there, you know, my love for math just kept on going. I started to love math. And yeah, and today I find myself in a field where you have to be very good at math.
During his matric year, Khoza made a significant decision to change schools in pursuit of excellence.
I feel like, for me, during the 4 years that I spent at the school that I was before I switched, I felt like the teachers I had, obviously they were good, but I felt like at some point I knew more than some of the teachers. No disrespect to anyone. That's how I felt, because you find that, okay, I struggle with the question and then I ask some of the teachers and they were like, oh, we don't know how to solve this. So like, okay, I'm not gonna learn anything here, so it's time for me to make a switch. So yeah, that's one of the reasons why I decided to switch schools, unfortunately.
So you switched school, but also one of the things that I heard was that it's because you wanted to be better at what you did.
So the sacrifice was that I had to live on my own. Well, actually I was sharing a room with one of other people who was doing grade 12 with me at the time. He also did very well. I think the two of us both got 8 distinctions, which was very impressive. So yeah, and then I had to, you know, live on my own with the guy, and then we had to cook for ourselves. Now imagine you're in grade 12, you're cooking for yourself, you basically have to do everything on your own. You're an adult in grade 12, whereas